And so it's really important to learn to forgive ourselves and others, because everyone is playing a part in your journey. Every experience, good or bad, is a chance to learn to become better, feel better. And you get to choose how, when, what you take from those experiences. Hey you, hola, wagwan, Davey, you beautiful beings. Welcome back to the INNERVERSES YouTube channel, podcast, however, wherever you're watching, listening to this. Welcome, and if you're already part of the tribe, welcome back. And if this is your first time, welcome to your home of spiritual wellness, mental wellness, empowering you to wholly be at the center of your INNERVERSE through hypnotherapy, trauma-informed therapies, spiritual empowerment for your mind, body, and spirit. And we're elevating and connecting to higher realms and higher vibes. If this is the first time that we are meeting, my name is Patience. I am a multi-hyphenated spiritual goddess on a mission to support you in mastering yourself and nurturing the longest relationship you ever have, which is the one with you, boo. One with yourself, right? And such a pleasure for us to connect and gather. And if you haven't already joined the tribe, if you're new here, join us. We have fun here. Like, we're doing the work, we're doing the deep healing, but we're enjoying life, we're having fun. So get ready to snuggle up in this cozy corner of the INNERVERSE and do all the liking, the subscribing, the following, all them things there, because today we have a juicy one that has been highly requested, and one that I always get asked in a lot of my readings, my mediumship readings, which is all about soul contracts. What are those? How do they work? And what is going on? We'll be answering all of that today. Okay, so the idea of a soul spiritual contract, as it's also known, is it's a special arrangement that our soul makes before we are born. So this goes into the woo of the woo. So as we are going through today's gathering, I'm going to ask you for a favor, and I'm going to ask you to view and step back from the physical mind, of the logical mind, and step into your higher self, your spiritual mind, and from like a higher, bigger picture perspective, and kind of detach some of the emotion and feelings from what we'll be talking about today. And just also keep an open mind, open heart, because you may learn something might resonate with you. And I feel like if you're already following this, if you're already part of the tribe and you're already watching this, we're on the same wavelength. Okay, we like a little bit of woo. So what's a spiritual contract? Think of it as a plan, a map, an agreement that you make with the universe, with your guides, with your family members before coming into this lifetime. So a big thing about our spiritual journeys or spirituality in general is we are spiritual, always evolving for eternity. So this is not the first lifetime where you are having a human type of experience, or you are part of yourself has been projected into another form or way of expressing, which in this lifetime will be physical, in the physical body. But also there are so many different dimensions and forms that we are out there having multiple experiences. There's a whole other thing of like parallel universes, but let's just start with the contract today. So simply put is an agreement that you make about, okay, I want to come into this lifetime, these are the things I want to learn, and universe guides help me get into situations, bring the people around me, bring the experiences that are going to help me learn this lesson, because that is going to evolve my soul into where you want it to evolve to. So whether you're in the physical form or in the spiritual form, you are always evolving, and a lot of the times it's at the same time. So this is where sometimes it can get a little bit our physical mind is difficult to comprehend, because when I'm saying yes, you're choosing your experiences and the people around you to essentially create scenarios that are going to help you learn the lesson in the way that you need to learn it. So your family members, the group and people that you connect with, whether it's your friends, your family, most likely you are all part of the same tribe. So in every lifetime you are always traveling together and you're changing roles. And so for example, my mom trauma in this lifetime, I've been a mother to her and she's been a daughter to me. And I've been a grandfather. I've played so many different roles, and each lifetime you're always interchanging and interconnecting. So that's the root of why you are always connecting and traveling with your family. And also, you know, have you ever met someone, you're like, oh my God, why do I feel like I've known you all my life? That's where the essence of that is coming from. It's you will always attract the people that you, in every lifetime, you have had some connection of or some sort, because you're all part of the same tribe. So even actually here, as we are gathering here today, we are all in some ways are always connecting in every lifetime. And right now, you know, it's through the technology virtually, but that is still a connection. We're still energy. So it's just as powerful, it's just as important. So that's how that works in terms of how you are connected and how you always meet the people that you're supposed to meet, because in every single lifetime, you somehow take part in each other's experience. Okay, so with that then being established of how you're always traveling with the same group of people in every lifetime, the themes and the situations and experiences that you are choosing and have agreed to experience in this lifetime, some of them are pretty messed up. Some of them are gut-wrenching and just the WTF. So for example, and it took me a while to get my head around it, because I was like, I'm sorry, what? Why would I choose that? Like, so for example, me having gone through experienced sexual abuse as a child, I was like, now what in the hell, why? For the absolute why would I choose that? And there's so many other experiences that, you know, you've gone through, we've gone through, of abuse, of trauma, of loss of a parent, even before you're born, like so many things that you would be like, make it make sense. And I feel like I can hear some of you right now, you're like, Patience, girl, what are you talking about? And this is where I'm like, just open heart, open mind, because the thing about it is those experiences, as gut-wrenching and as horrific as the word, you didn't deserve it at all. That's not where I'm coming from with this. However, the other level and the spiritual level and understanding and lesson from it is that has taught you and made you who you are today. So use myself as an example. I went through childhood trauma, and guess what I'm doing today? This is why we're here. Okay, wounded healer, someone, me, we all are. Okay, but that is a perfect example of my spirit, my soul would have chosen that experience or some level of that experience so that I could evolve and go through the work that I needed to heal the unworthiness, the shame, the guilt, all those emotions that came on the back of that experience, and transform that and turn that into what is now purpose of mine, how I now help other people nurture the longest relationship they have, how I now hold space for people to understand and nurture themselves and be heard and be seen, and how I am now moving and expressing that trauma in a loving and passionate way for myself and other people. Had I gone through anything different, the lesson may have been different or it may have been the same. But regardless, I would have chosen that I want to go and learn this particular lesson. And for me, I genuinely and deeply know in my heart, in my spirit, that one of my biggest lessons was to be heard. When that happened when I was younger, I locked up my voice and I was like, oh, I don't want to be heard, like what I have to say doesn't matter, and all those things there. And actually it's like, well, no, so it does matter. And so my journey and my healing has been about reclaiming my voice and reclaiming and understanding and embracing that, no, I deserve to be heard. Hence why I'm here with the mic and I'm like, yeah, I will be heard. My voice will be heard. So I know for me, expressing myself, healing my throat chakra and sharing my voice, sharing my message is part of my journey, is part of my purpose. And so that it started from a very painful place, and I've transformed it, and I'm transforming it into something purposeful, into something fulfilling, into something where I can serve other people that have gone through something similar. Now, it also means that and even if I say it kind of, my body's like, rejecting, it also means that the people, so for me, the family members and the cousins that were responsible for violating me, there was an agreement that would have been made before we came into this life. And so they were actually doing exactly what they were supposed to. And they may have also been violated, and more times than not, the violators are victims themselves, and the pattern just carries on and carries on. And I know for me, one of my lessons is to break that pattern, because I know deep in my heart and from the work that I do that this is a generational trauma, and generationally it's just been passed on. And so I have chosen to break the pattern because it will not be passed on past me. I don't want it to be, and so we're gonna do the healing work. So with that being said, it then means, some of the relationships, some of the experiences that you've been through have really molded you to who you are, and the people around you are doing exactly what they're supposed to. They're doing exactly what you agreed. And the same with you, because you are also showing up in other people's lives, and you are doing your job to help them evolve into who they want to be. Now, whether they choose to or not, again, that is where the free will comes in. It's totally up to you what lesson, if you take a lesson from that experience, or if you continue sitting in it, it's totally up to you how you maneuver your experience in, because it's your soul's journey, it's your evolution, and whatever you're not going to learn in this lifetime will be learned in the next. And when I say even in the next, I just mean in the spiritual realm. When we transition back home, I call it, and back into us fully into the spiritual realm, we continue learning, we continue evolving. This is why they say literally the learning does not stop. It don't stop. And I love that for me, but there's sometimes I'm like, when will it stop? But we're healing that, okay? But I've accepted it, and I also accept that, I have moments where I'm just like, okay, so will it ever stop? But that is really the foundations of spiritual contract and who and what is made up of. Now, the next thing is understanding that your spiritual contract will help you see the life's up and down. So I've just used, the examples that I've used. And so it's really important to learn to forgive ourselves and others, because everyone is playing a part in your journey. Every experience, good or bad, is a chance to learn to become better, to feel better. But again, you get to choose how, when, and what you take from those experiences. And last but not least, it's trusting the plan. Once you've accepted and embraced that, is understanding the spiritual contract and the plan. That life, it may not always make sense, but in every moment, you're being guided towards your purpose to exactly where you said you wanted to. So coming from a loving place, from a trusting place, giving yourself grace as you navigate this sometimes tumultuous, confusing WTF waters, but knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you always have the power to not only be aware of that, but to also change your experience, change the direction of where your energy is flowing, change where you're putting your attention to. That's where your power really sits. And so another example with some of like my clients, especially when we're doing readings, and what tends to always come through, especially from those that have lost parents, and the parent that's coming through, and there's always an apology to be had, because when we transition to the other side, you get to see your life. So you have like a life review. It's almost like you're in the cinema and you're just watching your life from point A to point B, from the agreement that you made to your conception to your death and everything in between. But you also get to see how your life and your actions impacted the ripple effect that impacted everybody else in your life. And so there's things that I would have done to people unknowingly, because I'm just living my life, that I will see and I'm like, oh, so that's actually how that felt for you. I didn't know. So there's always an apology, but with the apology understanding that, oh, but actually that was the agreement that we made, but it still doesn't make it any less like painful. But also because of love, there is also remorsefulness is also an expression of love. And that's one of my favorite things and favorite ways that I consistently always hear from parents that are in the spiritual realm that are expressing to their children, is just the apology of, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know how much much that impacted you, I am sorry. So with that, it's first of all accepting that these experiences that we go through on a spiritual realm is exactly what we've chosen to go through. Is what is to support us in evolving, is what's to shape our values, our purpose, our beliefs, and also unlearn some of the values that don't serve us, some of the beliefs and all those things. And so it's really, really important for us to not only value our physical experience, but also value our spiritual beingness, because that is wider, that is bigger, that is our source. We are the source. And this human experience, this vessel, is just a tiny, tiny part of the expression and the experience that we are having in this current lifetime. So how did that feel? Did that resonate with you? Do you know a lot about soul contracts? I thought that would just be a nice introduction into what are soul contracts, how does it all work in the spiritual realm before we're here, then in this lifetime, our families, how is that all interconnected, our friends, and people that we meet, the people that we're like, oh, it was destiny, I feel like, and people when you're like, oh, I just know, I know, it was instant, we just got on. It's because, babe, you've been knowing each other, okay? You've been knowing each other this whole time. But I hope you learned something new that you didn't know before, and please let me know in the comments as well how that resonated with you, what you know about soul contracts, what experiences that you've had with that. If you want to learn any more, or if you want support along your spiritual and mental wellness journey, call me, head over to the website info@theinnerverses.co.uk. That's the email. Website is www.theinnerverses.co.uk. Follow us on socials, leave a review, like, subscribe, do all the things there. And as always, I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you taking the time to be with me today, to be with us as a collective, to learn, to grow, to evolve, and be on this journey. Thank you for being a part of this journey, a part of my journey. I appreciate you so much. I value you so much. And I can't wait to continue learning and unlearning and embracing who we are, who we've always been, embracing self and spirit. I love it for us. With that being said, sending you so much love and always holding you in the brightest beaming light. All of my love. Mwah.